Hey, YouTubers. Back. I've been watching a lot of stuff lately. And I've commented on this in the past, like about dating and relationships and these podcasts on YouTube about, like Fresh and Fit and Rollo Tomasi and some other guys that um, don't have like a panel of women. They'll bring on, you know, and some of them are like Instagram models or maybe OnlyFans or maybe they even have their own podcast. But a lot of them are like young, like 20s, early 20s, maybe early 30s, and some of them are pretty hot, but some of them are attractive. But there's a difference between being attractive and hot. And I mean, it doesn't matter, whether a woman's a 5 or 6, you know, and then or she's a 10. You know, a lot of these women they think that like Fresh and Fit. Don't ask them, about the kind of guy they're looking for. Why they have a hard time, keeping the guy that they want. And the common denominator is that they keep saying what they think a man or what they feel a man should want, what a man should value. Maybe let's say she makes her own money, or she thinks she's a boss babe, or she's highly educated, successful, got some fame or whatever, and they think that when they say man, what a man should want, what a man should value, here's they mean high value men, the kind of men that they're attracted to, but here's the reality: regular guys, we have no choice but to look for a partner. Regular guys, if we look for somebody that we want a long term relationship, get married with, we have to look for a partner. So we have no choice but to value, like, okay, she makes good money, she has a good job, career, she's got I'm not a weak person. She's got some drive, some ambition, because it takes two incomes today to be able to raise a family in a very comfortable lifestyle. Nobody wants to struggle to do that. So most men don't aren't rich. So most men have to, you know, value things that these women all say that a man should value, that a man should want, because we're pragmatic, we're practical. However, and this is the thing that no female wants to hear, high value men, and when I say high value men, I'm not saying they're high value men. It's what women say are high value men. And I say this because I've said this before. Women click right on these dating apps 5% of the time. That means they ignore 95% of men out there. And this is what high value men are to these women. 1, over 6 feet tall. 2, very good looking. 3, fit, muscles, six pack, etc. 4, make at least high 6 figures, but in reality, this is the Bay Area, 7 figures. 6, funny. And 7, charismatic. I think that's 6. My bad. I think 4 was financially secure. The high 6 figures, 7 figures. 5 was funny, and 6 was charismatic. Those are the 6 things that women look for. That's the kind of guy that makes their fucking panties wet. Everybody else, they fucking ignore until the clock starts ticking. Until they reach their late 20s or early 30s and they finally wake up and smell the coffee and they realize, all right, I can't find that top high value guy. Then I need to start settling down a little bit. Then that's when the guys that, quote, flawed, which they're not flawed, All right, a guy that doesn't make high six figures is not a flawed man. It's not easy to have that kind of success in life. Just like a guy that's not over 6 feet tall, it ain't his fucking fault. Being funny, having charisma, that's something that's just natural. Yeah, there's things you can work on, but in general, those are things you naturally have. Just with being your looks, the only thing you can really work on to a degree is your physical fitness. And even then, there's certain like your bone density, whatever. Some people are just naturally easier to work on their bodies and get fit in as other. But technically, that's something you can really work on. Also they say about your how much money you make, true to a degree, but to make that big money, you gotta have some kind of talent, basically talent, whether it's athletic talent or that brain talent, that creativity that allows you to be able to make, a shitload of money. So luck plays a big degree in life. So guys who don't meet those six qualities doesn't mean that they're bad guys or that they're flawed. But when the 80% of women are chasing 1% of men out there, when they finally wake up and realize that, you know what, the guy that all you females are looking for, they're what they want and what you think they want are two different things. And then when they finally when you ladies finally realize that, you know what, you don't meet those six criteria that a man is looking for. Actually, it's eight. Women are looking for six things. This is what a high value men look for. One, you got to be between 18 and 23. That's when a woman hits her physical fucking prime. That's when she's young enough, she can have kids. And like I said, it's sports. She wants a high value man wants like 3 or 4 kids. He wants a legacy. And he wants somebody that's young enough to pop out some babies and can take care of that body. Now, I know women say this all the time about well, when you get pregnant, you get older, you're going to get big, and, it's love to do its part. And you know what? You can't dog me for gaining a few pounds. Really? Well, let me ask you this, ladies. Those of you that, if you were to marry a high value man, you're a female who's a 10 in the looks department, in the body department, and you take care of yourself. Well, what happened? What would you do after you marry a guy? And he decided, you know what? I got the woman I wanted. I can just stay at home, let my business go, blow all my money, because I already got what I want. I got her. Now, how would you feel if what you married into went away? You would say, I didn't sign up for this. You divorced this fucking ass, right? Well, how do you think a high value man feels when he marries beauty and then you let yourself go? Well, the thing is, those you ladies who are in your late 20s and 30s and you think you're entitled to a high value man, guess what? Your ability to recover from a pregnancy and maintain your body, your physical fitness, is much harder the older you get when you have kids. And that's a fact. That's why men look, and when I say high value men, in general, these guys are at least in their early to mid 30s, probably late 30s, maybe early 40s, when they finally reach the financial success where they can call themselves a high value man. But these guys are in their prime, and they can still get a woman pregnant. And so they want to have multiple kids. So that's why they look for a woman who's in their late teens, early 20s, is because she's in her prime. That's when she has the most value to a high value man because of her ability to conceive and also maintain her looks. You ladies don't want to hear that, but it's a fact. So number one, you got to, have some youth. Two, you got to be fucking fine. Okay? You got to be fucking fine. Beautiful. Number three, you got to have that fucking body. The curves, whatever it is. Fat ass. Number four, low body count. And like I said before, it's unrealistic for a man to look for a virgin these days. Because hot women, by the time they're 18, they've done some fucking. Okay? But a woman who's smart, like a woman who's got a 10 in the looks and body department, if she's smart, she'd be very selective on what she would look at her body like it's her most valuable asset. If she's looking for a high value man. Now, if you're a 10 in the looks and body department and you're looking for a partner, then you have every right to say, you know what, I'm going to hold out on, like on the sex thing, and you're going to look for a man that's going to be a good husband, treat you as an equal, if that's what you want. But if you want a high value man, you can forget about being treated as an equal. Because a high value man ain't looking for a partner. He's looking for somebody that will complement his life, who's compliant, who when he comes home, she wants to hear about how his day went. He don't want to hear about a bunch of drama. All right, he don't want to come home somebody's going to nag to him. I'm not saying that he's not going to care and ask you about how your day is, but he don't want you to fucking come up to him and just, with a bunch of drama. He'll take care of you, provide you financial security, protect you, and make sure you live a very good life. But he ain't looking for a partner. He don't care about what money you made or what kind of success you have. No, he wants youth, beauty, physical fitness, low body count. Number 5, fertility. If you ain't fertile, you can forget about getting a high value man. All right. 6, faithfulness. If you ain't loyal, if you ain't always faithful, he ain't raising another man's kids. He ain't looking at somebody to cuck his ass. Number 7, compliant. Number 8, no drama. Those are the 8 qualities that a high value man is looking for. So if you're not willing to give him those things, you can forget about it. All right? You need to accept reality that you're going to be with a regular guy. And when I say regular guy, I'm not saying a guy that's a fat bum or whatever. No, there are regular guys out there that make a decent living, are decent looking, may not have the greatest bodies in the world, but they ain't obese. But they're good men. They will treat you fairly. They will treat you as an equal. They'll treat you as a partner. And you know what? There's way more of those guys out there than they are high value men. But the problem is, most women, they want to be with somebody that fucking sweeps them off their feet, that makes their fucking panties fucking cream, that fucking, that's intrigue them, man of mystery, a man that needs taming. And every fucking female thinks that she's the kind of guy, that she's the kind of woman that can fucking tame a guy, that will make him see that, wow, she's great. I'm going to settle down and quit fucking around. Get the fuck out of here. Women are fucking delusional. You ladies are. The stats don't fucking lie. Like I said, 5%. You ladies only swipe right 5% of the time. That means you ignore 95% of men out there. Does that mean that 95% of men are dogs out there? Hell no. But you refuse to see the rest of them. They're invisible to you. And I'm watching this podcast, and these women keep saying, the fresh and fit guys are saying, what do you think he wants? And they keep saying, well, I feel that he should value this. And they just totally don't get it. Then they, he should want a woman that's intelligent and that's going to, let me tell you something. The kind of man that these women are attracted to, they already have success. They already have money. They already have fame. They already have, the respect of their peers, other men. They don't need, so what, shit. What's that going to do for him? He already has it. Or he wouldn't be where he's at. But what you can potentially bring is what he don't have. Your ability to bear children for him. your ability to, your body. And don't like it or not, all men, not just high value men, but all men wish that we could have our pick of the litter when it comes to women. Just like all women want a high value man, all men wish we could pick our beautiful female that will be able to, we wish we could take care of them and they will comply, and in return they'll be compliant to us and all that. But in reality, most men can't afford that. That's the reality. So we have to be pragmatic and go, okay, we can't be, live in fantasy land. So if you're a woman who expects or demands fidelity from your man, you can forget about being with a high value man. If you're looking for fidelity, be with a regular guy. Because regular men understand that, you know what, we can't fuck around. Because to be honest with you, we don't deserve to fuck around. We don't have it like that in life. Whereas high value men, it ain't fair to say this, but it's reality. They can afford to fuck around. They can afford to say, you know what, I want a wife, a woman that I'm going to share my life with and have kids with. But you know what? I want a side piece. I have needs. A man needs, high value men that have that drive to be able to compete against other men and get that success in life and have it. How the hell is it reasonable to say that he should only settle for one female in life? When in reality, if most men had what he had, we'd be banging other chickens, we'd be having, side bitches too. But we can't afford a side bitch. All right? We can't afford a compliant female. So we have to be faithful and treat women as our partners, as an equal. But high value men don't have to. They can afford to take care of somebody. And when you can take care of somebody, then you have every right to set the terms of the relationship. And if the women don't like it, then you know what? There's always some female that will like it. And that's the price that you pay, ladies, when you sit there and go, I want a high value man. That shit don't come free. It's about supply and demand. Just like diamonds are expensive, the rarer something is, the more expensive it is. And when a high value man commits to you and brings you in, he ain't doing that shit for free. You ain't his partner, ladies. So looking for, thinking that, and that's pretty arrogant, you ladies, who you don't have nearly the money he has, his success he has. You think you're entitled to be his partner when all you bring is something that you were born with, your body, your looks. Because the stuff you think you bring to the table, high value men don't give a fuck about it. They don't. But regular guys, like, if I were to meet a female that likes sports, that likes poker, I would be like, damn. And she, had a career, she made some money, or, whatever. I'd be like, that would intrigue me. I'd be like, damn, okay. But you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. If I was a fucking high value man, I wouldn't give a fuck about any of that shit. And that's just the reality of the world we live in. Most men have to be pragmatic. But even women, when they should be pragmatic, they just refuse to until it's too late. And then the other thing I want to get into is that, like these women that, when they finally wake up, like when they're 20s and they're doing the fucking, some guys flying them out to Dubai on a fucking yacht. They're going on dates with all these guys, like the Chads and the Tyrones, and they're spreading the legs for them, and these guys are fucking breaking their backs every fucking night. But they're not marrying them. They'll fuck them, but they're not marrying them. And then when they hit their late 20s, early 30s, and that biological clock starts ticking, they're like, oh shit, Now I gotta settle down. When they do that, that's when those fucking legs close up. That's when they, okay, if I'm gonna settle down for a guy, I'm gonna make his ass earn this pussy. So they're like, no sex. We're gonna get to know each other, blah blah blah, no sex right away. So let me get this straight. When you guys are out there in your 20s and you just meet random guys, guys that you thought were hot or whatever, maybe they had a little money or something like that, you fucking open those fucking legs and pull those panties down with a fucking quickness. But a guy that you're looking for to settle down with, you're gonna be like, nope, you don't get any until way later down the line. How's that supposed to make that motherfucker feel? Like, some douchebag, who ain't got no intention of treating you right down the line, you'll just spread your legs and fucking toss us out and do anything for him. But a guy that's potentially looking to treat you right, looking for something more meaningful, you're going to be like, fuck you. You're going to have to earn it. And then when he finally earns it, you're not going to be the freaking bed for him. You're going to look at sex as an obligation to him. Because chances are, he's not going to be the kind of guy that fucking gets your panties wet, that fucking excites you. He's providing stability. He's a decent guy. He'll treat you right. But he don't excite you. Because the guys that excited you, that you hooked up with, obviously didn't wipe your ass down. He didn't make you his wife. He didn't wife you. So you're having to settle down. And I think more and more men are starting to, more and more regular men are starting to realize this. I realized this shit when I was 35 years old. And I just realized, you know what? Fuck that shit. I gave up on dating. And I'm happy. I've been happy ever since. It's not like I'm opposed to the idea, of meeting somebody and possibly get married. But I feel like that ship sailed a long time ago. And I'm okay with that. I made my peace with that. But I think more and more men are starting to realize that, hey, you know what? This, it ain't worth it. Why even try? Women bitch all the time about why guys don't come up to them and ask them out. Because guys don't want to deal with this get away from me creep look that women give guys that they're not into. This thing that's going on, like women wearing like provocative clothing at the gym and some guy checking them out and they're like, and they film it and they're filming the guy checking them out and they blast his ass on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. And they're like, well, women should feel safe and wear what we want to wear without guys staring at them. Well, my question is, do you need to wear that kind of stuff when you go work out? Or do you have a motive for it? And what the motive is you want the kind of guy that you're attracted to, that you're into. You want him to notice what you got. And you're hoping that he'll come up to you and talk to you. That's what you're hoping for. But the downside of that is you have to deal with the guys that you're not into, who you automatically think are creeps. Even like decent guys who are ugly or whatever, or maybe the guy's like, he's decent looking, but he's not the kind of guy that makes your panties wet. He's not the high value man that you want. And so you blast him, you make him feel guilty, you make him feel dirty for approaching you. And you know what? Guys just don't want to deal with that shit anymore. But women, you got yourselves to blame for that. You do. Because you set your fucking standards so fucking high. And you fail to realize that 80% of you are competing for 1% of men out there. So for every one of you that are able to reel in the high value men, 79 of you ladies are fucking striking the fuck out. And then when you settle down, decide that you're going to settle down, how do you think you make the guy that you settle down feel? Who's willing to give you what you need from a husband and a father to your kids. But you're not going to make him sexually happy because you're always going to compare him to that fucking Chad or Tyrone that you fucking did any kinky, nasty, freaky little thing with his ass when you were in your 20s with how they made you feel. You're always going to compare that guy to that guy. So guys, they know that shit. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to fucking deal with that shit. Because eventually, you're going to resent the guy for not being able to fucking, you know, get your fucking panties wet. Because most men are just, when it comes to like sex, just regular guys. You know, and it's like a lot of men and women don't talk about what they need to talk about, sexually, about what they want and what they need. And I think that's a big problem. That's a separate thing for another talk. But 51% of all marriages end in divorce. And of that, 75% of those divorces are initiated by women. So knowing that, why would a guy even want to go down that road? If I was in a fucking airplane and the plane was getting ready to go down and the motherfucker said, you know what, hey, that parachute right there, if you put it on, there's a 51% chance it ain't going to work. Are you going to put that parachute on or are you going to try to look for a different parachute? Well, that's what marriage is. A 51% chance of it not working out and you falling hard on your fucking ass. That's why it's better not to get up in that plane. That's why it's better not to fucking get married. And it may sound fucked up to put all this on women, but you know what? You ladies, you're the one that set the fucking rules when it comes to dating. Men react to how you react. Men know this. Men know that when we go on a date, or if we approach you, there's certain things we got to say to even get your attention. In other words, we have to be phony. We have to be our best selves. We have to be somebody we're not. Because most men aren't smooth. Most men aren't like charming. It's awkward dating. And I don't think it makes a man to feel weak to say that. It's being real. Women say all the time that you want a guy to be honest with you, to be real with you. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. No, you don't. You want a guy to tell you what you want to hear. And men know this. Men know that if we don't tell you what you on a first date, if we don't tell you what you want to hear, if we don't hit that checklist of things, or if we say the wrong thing on a first date, guess what? We're not getting a second date. And not only that, there could be a chance that you'll go on TikTok or YouTube and blast our fucking ass. Or Facebook. Who the fuck wants to deal with that shit? No sane man wants to. So ladies, I suggest that you get your fucking act together and revamp your dating strategy and be realistic. Now, I understand that there are men who are dogs out there who are like, who got agendas, who got maybe evil intentions or whatever. I'm not talking about those guys. All right? Those guys, yeah, unfortunately, you have to navigate and deal with those guys. But not most men aren't like that. Okay? Most regular guys are decent guys. But the thing is, but it's tough to compete against the smooth operators, the charmers, the funny guys out there. Because they know they're able to fucking play that role with ease. That's where that confidence, and women like confident men. Or when a guy can come up and be charming and be, funny, it's not because that you bring it out of him. He has that in him. So he can come up to you and just, make you feel like you're fucking special. And just make you go, wow. And I said this in my last video. Ladies, if you're going to fucking date, go on a first date, use it like it's a job interview. I'm telling you, you find much more success that way than you would with the way dating is set up nowadays. Just, it is frustrating, watch these videos and just see all this fucking blabbering nonsense. I can't help. It's like, are women this delusional? I don't want to be proven wrong. You know, I mean, this day and age of Me Too and like equality and equal pay and all this stuff. You know, the WNBA, the girls who play, or excuse me, ladies who play in the WNBA bitch about the fact that you know the ratings are low, they don't make the money, all this other kind of stuff. When women don't watch women play basketball, don't bitch about the fact that we don't want to watch you play basketball. Okay? We support basketball, men's basketball. Okay? If women wanted to watch you play basketball, they fucking watch you, but they don't. They want to watch women, real housewives of whatever fucking bullshit county. All right? They want to watch the Kardashians. They want to watch American Idol. All right? Rachel Ray, The Bachelor. They don't want to watch you ladies play basketball. Bitch at them. All right? Bitch at your fellow females for not supporting your fucking ass. Don't fucking bitch at us. You know, I mean, I was watching something earlier today that, it's about college sports. And it's like, there's this, with transgender male athletes trying to play against women. And I'm totally against that. I think, unfortunately, I think they need to have a transgender league for transgender athletes to compete against each other, but I don't think that transgender male to female should be able to compete against biological women. That's just not fair. All right? If you need to be explained why, then I'm not going to fucking, deal with you because you're too stupid to understand reality. But at the same time, I don't think women should be allowed to play college football or be a kicker for playing in the men's league. If you're going to sit there and say that men that transition to women shouldn't be allowed to play women's sports, then I don't think women should be allowed to play men's sports. I don't think girls should be allowed to play little league baseball with the boys. I don't think, like, even in infantry in the military, or females like female cops that work like the streets. I mean, from a physical standpoint, I just don't think female cops can hang with male cops. I'm not saying that women should be police officers. I'm saying that women shouldn't ride in the fucking streets, you know, because it's too easy to overpower them. Like if I was a male cop and I had a female partner that I was riding the streets with or whatever, I wouldn't feel exactly very comfortable with her having my fucking back. Or like on a military, or especially a firefighter. If a male firefighter fucking fell out or got stuck somewhere, he had an accident with his mask or whatever, how many female firefighters can pick him up and carry her over his shoulder, over her shoulder? A man can pick up another guy that's a firefighter, or he wouldn't be a firefighter because you gotta be physically fit, you gotta pass these tests. But female firefighters don't have to pass that fucking test. And I think it's unfortunate, but it's just a reality. So if you're gonna sit there and say that male transitioning to females shouldn't be allowed to play female sports, and I get that. I totally agree with that. Then you know what? You shouldn't try to get involved in men's sports or in physical activities, like Navy SEALs. I mean, how realistic is it for a woman to be a Navy fucking SEAL? Now, I understand there's certain like promotions or, camaraderie, connections, for advancement that you get when you participate, when you work in these fields. Well, you know what? That's just the world we live in. Life ain't fair. Okay? There are physical differences between men and women. You may not like it, but it's a fact. I mean, it's like I'm not saying women shouldn't be allowed to play basketball, but don't bitch at the fact that you don't make the money that the male athletes make. Female porn stars make way more money than male porn stars. I don't see men out there bitching about the fact that they ain't making the money that the women make in porn stars, or that male strippers make less than female strippers, or male models make less money than female models. Okay? There are certain fields that advantage females. Women's gymnasts, they get way more endorsements than male gymnasts. Figure skaters, same way. There are certain fields, certain sports that females get way more than the men do. But I don't see men bitching about the fact that they're making less money in those fields than the women are. They accept it. They're pragmatic. They understand. And when WNBA has been in existence for 30 fucking years, on average, the WNBA has lost $10 million a year. Never come close to making a profit. So what do you think? What, you think the male athletes, the NBA players, should give up some of their fucking salary to subsidize the women's game even more? Male athletes have to train harder, longer than female athletes have to do to get to that pinnacle. There are more male athletes to compete against than they are female athletes that females have to compete against. So the level of effort that you have to achieve to become great as a female athlete is not nearly the level of training that a male athlete has. Because for example, a male athlete can train longer, harder than a female athlete because of the fucking body difference, the muscle difference. So I mean, again, you don't want to hear this, but it's the reality of the world we live in. You know. So anyway, I just want to come over here and share that. So, in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. I'm sure I'll hear some interesting comments. And until next time, you guys have a good night.